Are you ready? Do you know what's in the box?
No.
Can you guess what's in the box?
A Ryzen 2000.
You are such a cheater. You saw the title of the script.
There.
Yeah, so basically, as my little brother said, in here are the new Ryzen 2000 chips. And as you can see, I have not opened the box yet, so this is going to be a blind unboxing. Do you know what the Ryzen 2000 chips are?
No.
Do you know who AMD is?
No.
Do you know what a processor is? I asked you this the last time we did a collaboration, and you didn't know.
I still don't know.
You've had 3 months, and we don't have any scissors or any box openers, so we're going to use a butcher knife, which, if you will do the honors, yeah, that thick knife right there. All right, so you can start opening it.
Oh, shit.
You're not. It's not gonna.
Are they recording this?
No. There you go. Now you can do the top because that's the easy part. Okay.
Woo!
Oh, hit the jack.
Oh, yeah. That's beautiful.
Is that even in the frame?
Oh,
it's in the frame. It's in the frame.
Oh, we just got the new Ryzen 2000, man.
All right, take that.
Thing's beautiful.
Okay, you can just keep that in there. Can you move the box down? So these are the new Ryzen chips, like you said. People are really excited about these, and this is actually just going to be an incremental update. Bless you. This is actually just going to be an incremental update from the Ryzen 1000 series. Now, this is based on the Zen Plus architecture. Ryzen 1000 is based on the Zen architecture, and the Ryzen 3000 will be based on the Zen 2 architecture. So a lot of people get that mixed up. It is a little bit funky nomenclature, but it kind of makes sense. So which box do you want to open first? That one, or this one?
This one.
Small one? Okay, we'll see if the big one for after. We'll move this out of the way. Here is the technical information for Ryzen 2. It's based on the Zen Plus architecture, which is a node refinement of the original Zen, like I had said. GlobalFoundries uses a 12 nanometer node, which is unofficially dubbed as 14 nanometer plus because it's not an actual node shrink, but only a refinement. Now, it looks like the CPUs that we got here are the Ryzen 5 2600X and the Ryzen 7 2600X. The 2700X is 8 cores and 16 threads. It has 2 CCXs, so it's a 4+4 configuration with a 3.7 base clock, and it goes up to 4.3 boost, and that is only for 1 to 2 cores. Now this replaces both the 1800X and the 1700X, and it also includes a 10-degree core package CPU temperature offset. If you are monitoring temperatures, keep that in mind. So if it says that it's 70 degrees, it's actually 60 degrees with the 2700X, and I'm sure that's just a part of their way to make sure that precision boost works very, very well, and etc. I'll get into that later. No other CPU does this in the Ryzen 2000 lineup, so keep that in mind. And the 2700X is 6 cores and 12 threads, 2 CCXs with a 3+3 configuration, 3.6 base and up to a 4.2 boost, which is 1 to 2 cores. We don't have the 2700 or 2600 in here. It might be in the bigger box, but I'm assuming that's an X470 motherboard. But the 2700 was included in a single benchmark in our review sample, so it is coming. I just don't think it's going to be here at launch in about a week. So, let's start opening these. Don't.
I'll be careful.
Stop. Cool news, both of these CPUs, even the X variants, come with their own cooler, and the 2700X is coming with a brand new cooler. It is called the Wraith. Let me find it.
Wraith?
Huh?
Wraith?
Wraith?
Did you say Wraith?
I said Wraith.
Because Wraith.
What?
Never mind.
Okay, the 2700X comes with a brand new Wraith Prism, which offers new fan profiles and 3 independent RGB light zones. You have more customization, which is awesome, and it's rated at only 39 decibels, which is pretty quiet. It looks pretty similar to the Wraith cooler that came, the Wraith Max, I believe, that came with the FX 8370 chip, if you guys know of that, but with RGB. So Zen Plus brings a reduction in cache and DRAM latency by up to 34% in the former and approximately 11% in the latter, and a 3% IPC bump. We also get about a 300 megahertz clock speed bump from 4 gigahertz to 4.3 gigahertz max, with all core overclocks in the range of 4.2 gigahertz. Golden chips will probably be in the range of 4.3 to 4.4 with usable voltage, though I need to test it to confirm. The processors also have 10 to 15% performance per watt improvement too. Okay, so now that we are done with this, do you want to open the other box?
Yeah.
Alright.
Woo!
Bring your imagination to life, 2nd gen Ryzen, the intelligent processor. Alright, so do you know what this is in here?
Crosshair 6.
Would you know what it is?
A processor. That's a pretty
Close.
good processor, so I don't think it's a processor.
It's a motherboard.
It's a motherboard.
And it's ROG. You know what that
2
is?
joules?
Yeah, so they gave us, is this 16 gigs? So it's 16 gigs of RAM. So they gave us 2 motherboards, which I wasn't really expecting that. That's awesome. So we have the MSI X470 Gaming M7 AC. So, alright, so this is the ASUS Republic of Gamers, the ROG Crosshairs 6, like I mentioned. It's a pretty beefy motherboard, as you can see. We have the 4 DIMM slots here, and we have some pretty nice looking VRM circuitry over here, and the heat sinks look pretty beefy as well. So let's take it out and see what else it has to offer. This is not the correct way to take out a motherboard. You also have some expansion slots for M.2 drives. I don't know if it supports NVMe, I'm gonna have to check that, but it looks like you also have a plate for your M.2 drive right here, which is really, really nice that it's included in this motherboard. But again, this is also an enthusiast board, so it kind of makes sense. Now if we go over to the back, we don't really see anything interesting or anything new. You just have your standard cooling socket plate at the back, or bracket, whatever it's called. So it looks like a pretty awesome motherboard. I'm excited to try it out. These VRMs are super beefy, so it's gonna be fun to overclock on this thing. It looks like overclocking won't be an
Beefy
issue
boy.
In terms of input output, we have your Ethernet, you have your USB Type-C, which is really cool. You have your USB Gen 3.1, you have your 3.0 ports and some 2.0 ports. You have your PS2 interface for mouse and keyboards if you're still using that, which I don't really know why you are. You have your Wi-Fi antenna right here. You have your buttons for reset and clear CMOS. Sorry, they're not power buttons. It's clear CMOS and restore BIOS, I believe. And so then you have your regular input output for your headphones and music. Pretty exciting stuff, right? Do you want to unbox the last one? Let's put this one back in its box first, and then we'll unbox the other one. Can you get that paper that box that you threw? You can put that back. So in this motherboard, as you can see, we also have some pretty beefy heat sinks as well. There is no plates pre-installed on the IO shield. That's a little bit different from the ASUS Republic of Gamers one, but you still get a bunch of features. You have your BIOS reset and clear CMOS button. So again, that's very, very handy, especially if you're overclocking, which you probably will be if you're using an X470 board. You have your PS2 input output. You have some USBs scattered around. You have your Ethernet, and then you have your USB Type-C right here, which is, I'm very glad that motherboards are now appearing with that, especially on the AMD side, because I know a lot of people really wanted that feature. So the biggest thing that AMD noted in their whole review package was StoreMI, and that is the biggest difference between X370 and X470 from my understanding. In StoreMI, and I'm gonna just read off my laptop because I have some notes, it's a storage acceleration program for free, and the way AMD explains it is that it combines the speed of an SSD and the capacity of a hard drive. And if you know what Intel's CAS is, it's kind of similar to that, but marketed towards a mainstream market, and it's free. And the only catch is that it only works with the 400 series chipset, so current motherboards cannot support it. It's like you're fusing two storage devices together into a single virtual disk and then migrating the most used blocks within the most used files to the fastest storage devices. And this can be installed or reversed at any time, and it works with any storage device, which includes SATA SSD, NVMe SSD, 3DX point, and even RAM cache, I believe, if you have it, or RAM virtual disk if you have at least 2 gigs free. And in more layman's terms, basically, if you have a game installed on your hard drive instead of your SSD and you have StoreMI enabled, the game will perform like it's installed on your SSD. So this means that you have faster application launch time and better, theoretically better video editing performance if you use primarily hard drives to store your files. And to top it off, there are some updated SenseMI features, and the biggest one is the new precision boost. And just for the sake of brevity, I'm going to read this off. It still boosts the CPU cores by increments of 25 megahertz, but on Precision Boost 2.0, it's linear instead of a more step-like graph that Precision Boost 1.0 utilized. And I'm not sure if you require the 400 chipset motherboards or not yet. I will try to confirm that with AMD before this video goes live, and if not, I'm sure somebody else will probably confirm it, or I'll leave a comment or a note in the description. XFR also gets an update. If the thermal solution allows, the CPU will boost beyond its boost clock, allowing up to a 7% increase in performance. This applies to any number of cores and threads, similar to Precision Boost 2.0, and XFR 1 initially did not apply this to all cores and threads. It only really applied to 1 to 3 cores, so 3 cores or less. So yeah, that's a little bit of an improvement over the original XFR. There's also no mention of B450 motherboards just yet, only X470, but AMD did say that they have a 400 series chipset, so I believe they're going to have more coming soon. Ryzen Master also has some updates. The biggest one is CCX overclocking. You can now overclock each of the CCXs in Ryzen Master 1.3. Again, I don't know if that's just for X470 or X or 400 chipset motherboards, but I will confirm with AMD and probably leave a note somewhere in the description or in a comment down below. So what are your initial impressions of Ryzen 2?
I think it's stellar. I really do. I like the fact that they sent 2 motherboards, not 1, not 1.5, not 1.8, but two motherboards. I really like that. So I really think, I like how beefy the shields were. I really did. I really liked it. So I think you guys should buy, you know what, not just buy, make this your #1 priority. And then after you buy it, flex on Snapchat that you got the 2 motherboards.
Flex on Snapchat.
Yes, this is not a joke.
Ryzen 2000.
This is 2 motherboards.
But yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, then leave a like. If you loved it, share, subscribe, and all of that stuff. And yeah, any last words before we head off?
No. Just kidding. I love you guys.
All right, we'll see you guys later.